What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. So I opened up Discord on my phone as I do most mornings, and Rum slid in my DMs. Surprisingly didn't ask for nudes, which is a very rare occasion, but what he did do is tell me to give the new Baja Brawl a go, made by none other than Hurren. Now Hurren made the original Baja Brawl back in 2020 or so I believe, and he's treating this essentially as, and that was his first track actually, he's treated this as a way of kind of remastering it, seeing how his skills have improved, so super excited to try this. And also the track itself, it's got a bit of a overcast feel, so this is default with the game, and I'm using Hurren's reshade settings, and I think we can all agree that makes it look 10 times better. So I've got the controller overlay on today just so you guys can see what's going on here, and we're going to go for a little rip. This is my literally first impressions, first time around the track. Now I'm not, obviously I've never seen any like proper GoPro footage IRL of Baja, but I'm just going to be treating the layout as if it was still the 2020 version. I can't imagine that it's changed a whole lot. One thing that Hurren did mention, however, is that this version was meant to be a little bit more difficult. Now, I believe the original version, oh, see, this is already different. We used to go all the way back over there and hit another jump. The original version is quite noob friendly. You know, it's a very, very wide open track, not much in the way of bumps or anything, nothing too technical. And I think that's quite a driving factor in the reason that a lot of new people enjoy it. Oh, that's gonna go well. Oh, God. Right, I'm going to see if I can triple that next time, if I remember. I'm going to go round that roller on the inside that I hit, and we'll give it another go. But yeah, already, straight off the bat, I can tell that this is not like super challenging by any means, but there's just more line selection, there's more rough on the straights. This before had a tiny bit of rough, but nothing worth worrying about. You could just power through it. At least now it feels like if I was to go into a corner a little bit too hot, get on the brakes too hard, I'd probably tuck a front wheel or something. Really liked how that corner back there, the ruts go over top of each other. That's something that I feel is very difficult to do in any motocross game, just where the terrain maps are quite limiting. I know on Sim that was always something very hard to get right, so nice to see it being implemented here, and it didn't really give me any grief as I was exiting the corner either. Now, in Rum's message, he did tell me that it's a 250 track. He said he was over jumping everything on a 450. Oh my God, that was slick. That tucked the front end so quickly. I wonder if he's got different... That does look slippery as well on the shading. I wonder if he's gone to the extent of having different like traction values. That's really cool if so. I didn't expect the front end to disappear like that. If that is the case, then that's actually really sick. I don't know many tracks that kind of have that intentionally and having certain slick spots, certain wet parts of the track. I'm trying to see if I go over it, if I can hear any difference, because usually the different types of traction on this game, they have different sounds. I know that sand, for example, is very odd, very noisy when you're riding over it. Let me try some of these outsides. Right. Hit this left. Oh, that felt quite nice. Right, I'm going to, after this next right-hander, I need to go to the far right-hand side, because I want to miss that roller. We'll try getting this triple into the corner. There we go. Stand up, get on the pegs, this should be no problem. Oh, that's nice. That was clean as well. It didn't take much effort. It just felt like quite a natural speed to hit at. I didn't have to stretch it at all, didn't do a massive scrub, just nice and smooth. And I feel like, see, when I played the original Baja, even then I think Baja is a great track. The racing side of things, you will never find a more intense race on MX bikes than on Baja. Because the track's so wide open, everyone's just flat out, especially at the high level, and it's, well, actually, sorry, my mind's just drifting. I can't focus on one thing at a time. I was wondering if I had 3D grass on, because you mentioned that this is quite a graphically demanding track, but it all seems to be running pretty damn smooth for me so far, so nothing to complain about there. Yeah, the racing on the old Baja was always so intense, because you could have maybe like the top 10 guys only be 2 tenths apart in terms of lap time, and it was so dependent on the start. Let's try and not... There, definitely, I don't know if anyone heard that, I'll try and bump the audio up, but there was definitely a different terrain there to make it slipperier, which is so cool. And I actually, if he's done it once, that's not part of the track. I think I just went around the outside of it by mistake. That means if he's done it once and he's done it on here, that could be implemented by more and more people on other tracks as well, because I really like that. We don't really get many wet tracks on bikes, I don't think. I think for the most part it's usually all like perfect conditions, and I know back in my sim days as well, on the rare occasion that someone done some experimenting and made a super like slippery, wet, deep rutted track, I really enjoyed it. And I think the same goes for here as well. Is I'm noticing these wet patches now when as I was about to say, I'm taking my time a lot more on these wet patches, trying not to go too fast and lose the front end. Can I get over this from that inside hump? Oh, I shouldn't have scrubbed it. Oh, that's fine. Suspension took it like a champ. Never mind, no it didn't. I do have stock suspension on, by the way, right now, so for those of you saying that you need a setup to do anything, that is blasphemy. I don't believe it for a second. I have also stolen Ryder's #1 Mook Creations bike because I think it's the only like nice looking 250 skin that I've got on the KX, so we roll with that. Hope he doesn't mind too much. And get down the landing of that. I want to go off topic a little bit for you boys and get your thoughts and opinions. And I know that there are certain people that are probably not going to be my best friend after this. But so as you guys know, I am reigning like a Supercross 450 champion for EU, and my idea was to do the 2023 season exactly the same and just try and basically back up the #1 plate. I really love my Supercross in this game, always have enjoyed it. I much prefer it to Nationals. I just for some reason feel like I am better at it. Let me quickly hug this inside, try and stay out of that wet stuff. There we go, much better. There's definitely a few insides on this track where you've got to just slow down a little bit more. You can't hit absolutely everything tapped. I reckon we're going to get some nutty fast lap videos in the coming days on here. And my idea was, yeah, just to try and retain that #1 plate, do it again. But I've heard talks, I don't know how true it is, I just scrolled through various Discords, that apparently it's going to be $2 per track for SX. Now, I'm all for paid content, I really don't mind it. I think $1.50 for the Nationals isn't too terrible, but you'll notice that I've not been doing any Nationals anymore. Now, I was leading the championship, but then obviously I had to miss a week going to my girlfriend's uni graduation. So at that point, I wasn't that interested in the championships anymore, which meant that I then stopped buying the tracks, because I don't buy the tracks just because I like riding them. I was buying the tracks for the competition side of things, trying to keep that top spot in the championship and see if I can win it. So when that went out the window, I've got no real incentive to buy the tracks anymore, because in my opinion they're fine for the racing, but after that it's not that interesting to me, and I'm not going to go and buy tracks as much that I'm not going to play very often. Obviously, there are a few exceptions, like we've got JV's Madagascar, which is really good. We've got Hurren's Compound, which is insane. Stuff like that, which I think takes a good few months of working on. I've got no issue spending the money on, because I know that there's a lot of replayability in there. But for the tracks where it's like a week at a time to build, and they're mainly there just for the competitive aspect, I'm not into it so much. So I've heard a rumour. Each SX track is going to be now $2 rather than the $1.50 for Nationals, and I don't know how I feel about it, because I know for the most part that Supercross tracks are based off a template, so once you've got that template of jumps and stuff all sorted, the actual time to put the terrain itself together doesn't take as long, or anywhere near as long, I don't believe, as the Nationals does. Now, we can speak on the object side of things, saying that the stadiums and all that could be worth it, but I'm not racing the stadiums, you know, I'm racing the terrain, and the terrain is what's the most important thing. And I don't know if I think SX tracks should be valued quite as highly, and especially when there's more rounds as well. Is there 16 or 17 rounds or so in SX? So you'd be playing more for essentially less of a track. That makes sense. I could be completely speaking out of turn here, but I'm speaking my mind and what's going on with me at the moment. And I've noticed a lot of people in the same boat where they're not sure if a track that's 40-50 seconds long should be valued at the same as something that's 2 minutes long. You could argue that the same amount of work goes into it, but then in terms of replayability and the tracks themselves, I don't know, and at this point I don't know what I'm going to do if that is the case. If things might change, you know, we've got a good few months before any SX actually happens. Things could completely change. Yeah, I'm not sure where I stand on it. I myself, I really would not mind it going down the sim route of paying to race rather than paying for tracks. I think that's been mentioned multiple times, but it doesn't seem to be going in that direction anytime soon. I just think it would open the door to newer people as well. I can imagine new people to the game won't want to just pay for tracks not knowing what they're getting into, and you've also got the issue at the moment on, if you buy a track, you can't refund it if you don't like it, because you've already got the link. Like, if that was the case, you could just be a scumbag and try and cheat the system the entire time. Whereas if it was pay to race and you started racing and you wasn't a fan of it and didn't want to do the rest of the season, then you haven't really got to. You can still get the tracks as they are, as they come out each week. And I don't know. I think even if it was a case of let's say 17 rounds times $2, 34 quid for the season, I wouldn't even mind if they done pay to race the series for like 35, for example. I don't think anyone would have any issue with that. So the same amount of money would still be coming that way, but it would just encourage newer people to the scene as well. Maybe people that they're not too sure if they're able to qualify or not. They can still download the tracks and give it a go without having to like worry or stress too much. And it's definitely a massive area for conversation to take place, and I'm interested to know what you guys feel. I mean, I try and be fair a lot of the time. I try not to be too biased, but I am only human at the end of the day. You know, I've got my own thoughts and opinions, and I've never made a track, which is a massive factor as well in opinions. I think that there's probably a lot more work that goes on than we realise. But yeah, just in terms of a Supercross track compared to a Nationals track, I'm not sure that they should be more expensive. But yeah, that's me thinking out loud. Very interested to know what you guys think and all that. That's my little bit of ranting done and over. And I've literally just... Well, man, I'm on lap 6 already. I've just been barking laps right now. Really, really solid track. So thank you very much, Rum, for that recommendation. Feel free to slide in my DMs whenever you want. You know what's up. And let me know if you guys played this as well. I think it was released yesterday at the point of me playing this, and I think I'm actually going to upload it today as well, because I know I've been slacking a little bit. I might be gone for a couple days. Got a busy weekend and start of next week, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get anything out there. Let's see if anything catches my eye. But yeah, this is very, very enjoyable track, so thank you, Hurren, for blessing us with this as well. And it's nice to see as well that even though you've blessed us with the Hurren compound that was obviously paid, and I think deservedly so. I really, really enjoy that. It's got to be in my top 5 like tracks / compounds in the entire game. It's nice to see that you're still like willing to put out free stuff as well for the other guys, and I don't think I'd have any issue like paying $1 for this, for example. But it's a really, really good, fun, flowy track, and definitely, what Rum said, definitely 250 vibes. I think if I was on a 450, I'd probably want to gouge my eyes out with overjump and everything. But it's really good, and I like... It might just be me from an experience point of view saying this. Can I get over this again? Stretch her out? Oh, barely. But I like the extra roughness. Now, I think that was the only downfall of the previous Baja, in my opinion, was that it was a little bit too easy. So once you'd learned the corners and you learned where to apex and brake for everything, there was no changes. You know, you could go an entire 30-minute race basically doing laps all within a second of each other. Like once, even when the rough kicked in, it was never bad to any extent. I'd be very, very interested to see how this track rides like 30 minutes deep into a moto with a good amount of your road on and a bunch of other players. And I like, well, more than like, I love that we've got a slightly overcast feeling and we've got wet parts, and you've gone to the extent of putting different traction in corners to make you really think about your lines and how much you're pushing. I feel like that really adds to the realism side of things. I mean, I know the guys in real life, they're pretty damn quick, but they're not going around an entire track just 4th and 5th gear tapped everywhere. You know, they have to pick their way through corners, and I like it. You've done a very, very good job here. So, as always, thank you very, very much for bringing this community some lovely content that we all get to enjoy. And I think that'll do it from me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Uploaded at a slightly different time to normal, but honestly, I've been slacking so much. I've been such a busy man just in life in general, trying to spread my time across all aspects of life at the moment. But yeah, if you did enjoy it, please drop a like as always. I really, really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow, and really gets it boosted on the algorithm as well. Just any kind of interaction is positive at this point. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. That'll do it from me. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to. And until I catch you in the next video, peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain. Even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want. I got